Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Before I begin, I ask unanimous consent that all members may have 5 legislative days in which they can revise and extend their remarks and include materials on the topic of my special order.
Without objection, so ordered.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today to lead a Western Caucus special order to voice our vehement opposition to the Green New Deal before it is put out of its misery by a vote in the U.S. Senate later this week. With an estimated price tag of $93 trillion over the first 10 years, the Green New Deal's cost more than 4 times the current U.S. public debt. The Green New Deal is a Soviet-style takeover of our entire economy that would radically transform America into a country that would be very bleak and unrecognizable from the country that we know and love today. The proponents of the Green New Deal like to make it out to be a program to improve our environment, but in reality, it's just a socialist experiment on a grand scale. Included in the Green New Deal is a job guarantee, even if you don't want to work, a housing guarantee, a health care guarantee, and an educational guarantee. The cost of these guarantees will put a major burden on the American taxpayer, with the health care guarantee costing taxpayers alone $32 trillion in the first 10 years. None of these guarantees has anything to do with improving our environment, but rather are socialistic talking points dating back centuries. In fact, only 15% of the estimated cost of the Green New Deal apply to the environment. Pair this additional tax burden with the cost of complying with all the new one-size-fits-all regulations included in the Green New Deal, which is estimated to cost $650,000 per household over 10 years, and your annually disposable income for an average household just vanishes. In total, Americans will have to spend $155.5 billion to replace furnaces, $11.9 billion to replace gas dryers, $50 billion to replace water heaters, and $26 billion to replace stoves. In the words of Michael Gosar from the Consumer Energy Alliance, I quote, "American consumers need practical energy solutions that come from all nations' existing mix of affordable energy resources. As it stands, the Green New Deal does not offer cost-efficient or sustainable solutions for hardworking families and businesses across the country." End of quote. The Green New Deal is a job killer. The Green New Deal would eliminate 10.3 million jobs in the oil and gas industry, 600,000 jobs in the aviation industry, 1.4 million hydroelectric jobs, 100,000 jobs in nuclear energy, and 50,000 jobs in coal. Mr. Speaker, while it is important to point out the most obvious and radical policy of the Green New Deal, such as the elimination of conventional energy sources and industries, there are several other policy consequences that should be highlighted. Mr. Speaker, did you know that according to the think tank Data Progress, the Green New Deal will reinstate the Obama administration's WOTUS, Waters of the U.S., and the so-called Clean Power Rule as part of this terrible policy? These two burdensome regulations in and of themselves did more to strip Americans of their property rights and shackle baseload power than any other regulations before them. Data Progress also reports that the Green New Deal will ban plastic straws and ban hydraulic fracturing. The Democrat socialists pushing the Green New Deal want to get rid of all energy sources except wind, solar, and batteries by 2030. How are we going to do that when wind and solar only produced 7.6% of our electricity in 2017? How are we going to domestically produce the critical minerals needed for this endeavor and the renewables when Democrats, socialists, and extreme environmentalists vehemently oppose mining? As for America's farmers, the Green New Deal would also reduce current farming practices and land use by 70% by 2050 and ban groundwater irrigation by large-scale agribusiness. For many of my colleagues, that means unemployment, and for many, and significantly, decreased standard of living for all. How are we going to feed ourselves? How are we going to feed the world? When it comes to the Green New Deal, I think all of us must ask ourselves a simple question. Are we so arrogant to think that Washington, D.C. should control and dictate every aspect of the lives of American people? My answer to that question is emphatically no. No, we should not. And no, we will not allow the flawed policies of the Green New Deal to be adopted. Renewables are playing and will continue to play an important role in our energy future, but they cannot exclusively be relied upon to provide all of our energy and electrical needs. Let's deal in reality and put an end to the social Green New Deal once and for all. Mr. Speaker, I would like to yield to my colleague from Texas, Mr. Babin, 3 minutes.